This movie and the book that it's based off of illustrates how quickly a love story can turn into a cautionary tale. You guys, here's my deep dive review of the 2024 film called It Ends With Us. It's gonna be a long one, so go ahead and get comfortable. And if you haven't seen the movie or read the book, I want to give you a warning. There are gonna be some things mentioned that some people may find triggering. And also there's gonna be some major spoilers. So before you swipe away, go ahead and save this video for later. Lily Bloom is our main character, and she falls in love with a good-looking, intelligent neurosurgeon named Ryle Kincaid. Despite not wanting anything serious, Ryle falls in love with her too. But the romance is soon cut short when she finds out that he has a dark side. One that especially comes out when her also very good-looking ex-boyfriend Atlas re-emerges from the past. First and foremost, I need to say that the books are always going to be better than the movie. In my opinion, Christy Hall did an amazing job condensing Colleen Hoover's work into a script. Also, Justin Baldoni did an amazing job bringing this story to life as an actor and a director, alongside Blake Lively's personal touch as a producer. For the most part, the plotline was close to the book, only leaving out and changing a few details. For example, Lily went straight to opening the flower shop. Her mother never moved to Boston. We never met Ryle's parents. There's no refrigerator magnet or Finding Nemo references. And instead of Atlas's restaurant being called Bibs, it is called Root. There's also no blown up canvas of Lily, and the part where Ryle is begging Lily for a one-night stand, well, it's just turned into him begging her for a kiss. They also don't rely on Lily's journals to tell her and Atlas's love story. Instead, they use a series of not so in-depth flashbacks, and only referencing the Dear Ellen journals on screen at the beginning of the movie. Now, there were also a few differences I found within the characters. Lily was played by Blake Lively, whose performance was great, and they did a terrifyingly good job casting Isabella Ferrer as young Lily. There is no denying it, she is 100% a younger version of Blake Lively. But truthfully, I imagined Lily to be a bit different. Maybe more nervous in situations and a lot angrier in others. There was a particular moment that I remembered. The first time Ryle pushed her. Instead of Ryle being overly apologetic after the first incident, it was Lily who rushed to say it was okay before he could even verbalize an apology. In the book, when she realized what happened, she was a lot more upset and even told him if he did it again, she was leaving. Now, honestly, I feel like this change was made just to save time, but I still feel it was very impactful in a way. Lily was obviously traumatized by what her father did, so I imagine it would be an even bigger blow to her when reflecting back on that moment, the same way she would have if she were thinking back on the time that she said she'd leave and she didn't. Furthermore, Alyssa was played by Jenny Slate and Marshall by Hassan Minhaj. I'm happy to say that they were nearly exactly what I expected, but the only difference is that instead of Alyssa being careless about her designer bag touching the dusty countertops, she was a lot more cautious in the movie and, as Marshall would say, rich girl. And I also thought it was an interesting change to make her the one revealing the truth about what happened in their childhood, because if you remember in the book, it was Ryle who told her. I'm not sure why the change happened, but I'm sure it was another attempt to save time. Speaking of Ryle, he is exactly how I imagined him. Justin acted his ass off, especially with those little veins popping out from under his eyes when Ryle was mad. And it's scary because he mentioned how hard this role was to play. He even mentioned in a recent interview how he had to shake this character off himself every time they stopped filming. And I really feel like this one made a huge impact on him as not only a person, but also as a creator. Lastly, I want to talk about Atlas. Just like Ryle, Atlas was exactly how I imagined him to be. But unfortunately, in my opinion, we didn't get to grow as close to him in the movie as we did in the book. Now, there is a funny thing about him though. The scene where Lily goes back to his house, I literally gasped because that's exactly how I imagined it to be. Now, I do wish that we got the chance to see Lily interact with his friends Darren, Jimmy, and Brad while playing poker over some dark humor, but I also understand this is film and time is essential. Outside of the characters, there was another big difference that I noticed. Most, if not all, of the intimate scenes between Lily and Ryle were a lot less descriptive on screen. Honestly, this was an understandable choice since the author was already in some hot water, and that was for allegedly romanticizing domestic violence in relationships. Now, whether she did or not, that is left up to your perspective. In my view, I don't think that she did, but I'll get to that very soon. Furthermore, there was a moment that me and a few other people really wished was in the movie. And that was the conversation between Lily and her mother after the final incident. Personally, for me, it was such an important moment in the book, especially because of what her mother said, telling her to know her limits and explaining to her why she never left her father. And afterwards, I loved seeing how much it impacted Lily's character, undoubtedly contributing to her final decision to leave him. Lastly, but not the least, for the sake of time, I'm cutting it shorter, I noticed there seemed to be less contemplation when it came to Lily's character. And I'm talking about when she was thinking about whether she should stay or leave. Instead, we were given a moment that kind of said it all. When Ryle came to help with the crib, they touched the baby, they were embracing each other. There was visible temptation and she had to take a step back. Now back to the topic that we touched on earlier. Is Colleen Hoover and the making of this movie romanticizing domestic violence? As I've said, no, not in my opinion. And here's the reason why I say that. At the end of the book, Colleen Hoover mentioned how difficult it was to write this story. She even mentioned how she fell in love with Ryle and wanted to rewrite this whole story. My thought, Colleen? You made me fall in love with him also. And even I wanted you to rewrite the story. But the message is strong here. In real life situations, both men and women are stuck in these relationships because they are in love with the person, or other times they fear them. In this case, it was love. I felt that it was important to really bring the audience through that experience of falling for Ryle, and honestly doing a great job hitting every love language possible. I honestly do not think it would have been the same if we did not grow attached to Lily and Ryle's love story. For me personally, it would not have been as impactful. At that point, they would have been better off just scrapping this book and fast forwarding to It Starts With Us. But again, the message wouldn't be the same in my opinion. As for the movie, 100% I don't think it is. Their objective was not to make another 365 Days or 50 Shades of Grey. There was an important message that they wanted to put out there, and they did it. Honestly, I still love the movie, and regardless of what I've been hearing has been happening behind the scenes, I think it would be very nice to have all of them come back for the sequel. Call whatever happened on set a beautiful disaster because they made a damn good movie, and I'm gonna rate it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Anyways, if you've seen It Ends With Us, I want to know your thoughts, so go ahead and let me know in the comment section. And I want to see who made it to the end of this video. So drop It Ends With Us with a flower emoji in the comment section. And thank you so much for watching.